channel. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how I make over this beautiful hutch that I got from Facebook Marketplace for just $50. I am so stoked I got this at a great price, and I wanted to just give it a more modern feel, more of a farmhouse style. So I did choose a white type of chalk paint, and I'll get to more of the chalk paint later. Anytime you're going to paint a piece of furniture, it is always recommended that you give it a nice and clean, just so that you get rid of all the grime and gunk that has been built up or caked on a piece of furniture, especially if you don't know where it's been, if you're buying it from somebody else. You can totally skip this step, but I have done that in the past and that has not ended well. I've had to repaint some furniture pieces that I just went ahead and started slapping paint on, and it just never really ends well for me when I don't clean the piece first. So I went ahead and did that with some hot water and some dish soap and a rag, and just gave it a nice soak all over this hutch. And then I went with a paper towel and cleaned off the excess, and then I went back in to unscrew all of the hardware on this hutch. To paint my hutch, I decided to use Dixie Belle's chalk paint in the color cotton, and I don't like to use chalk paint on furniture pieces, but this one claimed to be really good, so I gave it a go. So as you can see, I'm only doing a first coat, not really caring on having good coverage. I am just slapping the paint on. I kind of do a messy job, don't care what direction. The second coat is usually where I try to be a little bit neater, so it gives me good coverage. Something's gotta give today. It's a good day today and not tomorrow. So as you can see, I'm already done with the first coat, so you can see some of the brush strokes and a lot of the spaces where it just doesn't look really nice and it doesn't look full because it's just the first coat. I will go in with a second coat, and this is exactly how much is still left over from this tub of paint, so it's pretty much still full, so I can even do a third coat, I think, with this paint. So it's very good paint as of right now. This is the first time I am using Dixie paint for painting any furniture, and I've tried a lot of paints, and so far it's doing good. So we'll see once it's all said and done, see how it holds up. This is what the hutch looks just with one coat of paint. Also, I did want to mention that you can use any type of paintbrush that you have. I had some from Hobby Lobby. I like to reuse them if possible, or I've also used some Dollar Tree brushes to paint on furniture. The good thing about this chalk paint that I noticed is that it's like self-leveling, so you really don't see those brush strokes as you add on layers of paint. Chalk paint can be thick and not as easy to glide when you're trying to paint a big piece of furniture. So on the second coat, after adding your first layer, you can use a mister bottle and lightly mist from a good distance, and then add your paint and just have it glide onto the water, and do that several times. Don't soak the piece of furniture because then that activates the first layer and then it starts moving away from the furniture piece. I got this sanding sponge from Dixie Belle Paint as well. It's about $1.50, and I like it because it's not a distressing sanding sponge. It's just to lightly sand the entire piece after you're done with all of your layers of paint, and basically it just gives it a nice finish and it feels so smooth and buttery. I just used a microfiber cloth from the Dollar Tree just to wipe off the dust excess from sanding. The hutch can definitely use another coat of paint, however I'm good with just as the way it is. I didn't want it to feel too new. I did want it to look like it was aged, so some of the stuff like right here I'm okay with. It's all about preference. If you want it super, you know, brand new looking, then you can definitely use about 3 to 4 coats on this, but 2 is as far as I wanted to go. There are spots that you can see that even with the second coat, the darkness of the hutch came through, but I am completely fine. I am not picky when it comes to painting furniture. Again, this is all about personal preference, so if you like everything to be super, you know, polished, then you could definitely do 3 to 4 coats, but I'm okay with it. I didn't intend for this to happen, but I was painting so quickly, I just didn't care. I guess if I didn't want that to happen, I could have used a roller. I did use a brush. Again, it's all about preference. I'm going to be putting decoration on here, so it's going to get covered up, so I don't feel that it'll be that noticeable. I also didn't paint the top portion up here because I figured nobody would see it and only I would know that I didn't paint that part, and I didn't want to waste paint. I also didn't paint 2 coats up here, so you know, I did do it for with one type of paint, so I was really trying not to buy any more paint. So I am okay with it. I am pleased with it. Again, once I have the vintage or thrifted pieces that I put on here, I feel that it's just going to feel, you know, farmish and cottagey instead of polished and new. So I am definitely pleased with it. I just love how it came out, and I'm just excited that I even have a hutch. So I can't wait to start decorating this hutch, and I will upload a fall decorate hutch with me. So if you are wanting to see how I decorate it, definitely be on the lookout for that video. So one of the reasons I don't like using chalk paint is because every time I've ever used it, unless it's sealed, it'll start chipping away and you can get scratch marks, and then you start seeing it come away from the furniture. So I did a test before doing the second coat just to see if I was gonna have to end up sealing it after all. It claimed that I didn't, so I did the nail test and started scratching it like crazy and it wouldn't come off. So I got super excited that I wouldn't have to seal this. You definitely can if you're gonna be having water or some type of liquid stuff on it, definitely seal it, but I don't intend for that to happen in this hutch. So I definitely loved that I didn't have to seal this bad boy, and I am so happy that it's just going to remain like this without having to repaint it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on that video, and so that you become part of the Considered All Joy community. I would love to have you here, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.
Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face,